Welcome to Loving Me Before I Love You with Tammy Nicole, the podcast dedicated to you loving and putting yourself first. Others have come first in your life for years, and you know it's time for that to change. You're about to be empowered to set healthy boundaries, confidently have hard conversations, unapologetically put yourself first, and live the peaceful life you deserve. Remember, self-love is essential, and loving yourself sets the stage for every other love in your life. So get ready to embrace self-love like never before with your host, Coach Tammy Nicole.
Hey, welcome back to Loving Me Before I Love You. This is your host, Tammy Nicole, and I am so excited to be recording this episode for you today. This episode, honestly, is really dear to my heart as we have been talking about multiple hats or wearing multiple hats and burnout and being a CEO. I decided I would actually share my story, my journey into entrepreneurship, as well as what has been happening from start to finish. So call it my entrepreneurial love letter to my listeners. So today, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to share my heart, right? I'm going to be open and honest, no mask, no filters, just me. Writing you a letter about the winding road that we call entrepreneurship. So you see, people glamorize the journey. They sell you the highlights and the reels, the breakthroughs, the moments of triumph and victory, the six-figure launches, the testimonials that glow like gold. And yes, those things are real. They do happen. I've experienced them myself. I've held them in my own hands. I understand what it is to be successful in business. But what's less spoken about are the things that I'm about to write about today. There are the valleys, the roadblocks, the, oh my goodness, what just happened? The moments that collide with your self-worth, your self-love, and your very identity. So when I started my mental health company back in 2015, I had a fire in my belly. I was super excited, okay? As a therapist, as a clinician, being able to start your own was something that was always looked up to. It was the thing that you were supposed to do. Being able to provide services directly to the community that you desire to serve is a dream that most clinicians have. Not all, but most. So I was super excited. I was a woman on a mission. I wasn't just building a business. I was building a legacy. I wanted to provide services that healed, uplifted, and transformed lives. And for that first 5 years, I did exactly that. So from 2015 to 2020, it was like everything was going amazing. Now, was it a struggle in the beginning? Absolutely. I was doing things I didn't know how to do. I was really winging it. You talking about having a bootstrap experience. Let me tell you, when I started this company, I had no clue what I was doing. I had no money and I had no real direction. The only thing I knew that I wanted to do was help people. I knew that God had given me a gift to speak and see and give clarity to individuals who are struggling mentally. Though I had no real business sense, being an entrepreneur is technically in my bloodline. My daddy is an entrepreneur. All of his siblings, it has been a part of the family to know that you can run your own. So I did everything that I knew how, start to finish, by myself. Of course, seeking help and assistance from people in areas that I was super unfamiliar with, but typically by myself, right? And so every decision, every pivot, every opportunity started to flow. So I knew that I was doing the right thing. I knew that I was doing what I was supposed to do. I allowed myself to grow in this space. So we were doing well. The first year, we made enough money that I was like, oh, this is what we're supposed to do. The second year we doubled, and thereafter the income just kept going. And I basically was happy, right? Because who wouldn't be? But you know how it feels when things are going right? Confidence is easy, right? Your self-love is there. You are feeling abundant. You are feeling like everything is easy peasy. There's no issues. You're not looking around like what's going to happen next. You are actually looking in the mirror saying, girl, you did it. You doing it. You are super, super excited about what's to come. But here's the truth. Success doesn't exempt you from struggle. So profit doesn't protect you from pain, and progress doesn't mean the road is permanently smooth. So around 2020, life shifted for me, and it shifted in a way that I was unexpected, not just in business, but also personal choices and the reality of life pressing in. And then, like the rest of us, we all experience what? The pandemic. So the pandemic plus my personal issues plus business shifting, man, we hit a roadblock. And it wasn't just financially. It was my vision. It was my drive. It was my belief in myself. It all stumbled. I really had to come to terms with myself because I wasn't feeling it, like, at all. I remember waking up and asking myself, am I even capable of doing this anymore? Like, can I manage to bounce back? Am I built for this? Was this a hoax? Am I supposed to be doing this? Now, mind you, when I first got started, I was like, oh yeah, girl, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is your lane. This is where you supposed to be. But that's the thing that no one prepares you for. Like, no one prepares you for the way that business struggles can sneak into your spirit. It wasn't just about the numbers on the spreadsheet. It was about my reflection in the mirror. So my self-love took a nosedive. I questioned not only my ability to run a company, but my worth as a woman, as a leader, and as a visionary. Because I did not understand how all of this stuff could be happening to me. I pride myself on being nice and being genuine and being able to be a giver. But I felt like the world had just slapped me in my face, and for no good reason. Now, of course, later on, you start to understand that maybe you did have a part to play. Maybe you were not as vigilant as you thought you were, that you weren't paying attention as much as you thought you was, that you were allowing certain things and certain people to do things that they probably should not have been doing. Have you ever been there? Where one area in your life feels stuck and suddenly it makes you doubt everything else. That's where I was. This one thing had happened that catapulted into something else. And then it was just like all of it was going down the drain. And I never, ever understood why. So there was, the fact that I was feeling down, feeling low. And it was in this space that I felt like my entrepreneurial journey, as well as my self-love journey, met and joined forces. Why? Because when things were thriving, I celebrated myself. I felt beautiful. I felt powerful. I felt unstoppable. But when things slowed down, when the money wasn't flowing, when the contracts weren't landing, my self-talk shifted. It went from, girl, you got this, to maybe you don't. It went from, you're doing very well, to, girl, you suck. It went from, I'm so proud of you, to, girl, what are you doing? So I want to pause here and ask you, why do we tie our worth so tightly to our wins? Why is it that the things that we excel at means that we are an exceptional person? And then when we start failing, it's like, girl, you ain't worth nothing. That is a problem, right? Why do we measure our self-love by what the scoreboard says instead of who we are at our core? The essence of us do not dictate the value of us based upon what we do, how we do it, if we win or if we lose. So here's what I've learned, okay? The ebbs and flows are part of the story, just like in love, just like in life. Growth is not a straight line. Healing is not a straight line. Entrepreneurship is not a straight line. So, and when my company hit that roadblock, yes, I faltered. Yes, I questioned. But I also had to face myself. I had to ask, do I only love me when I'm winning? Or do I love me even when I'm learning? Because all of the failures, they're not just failures alone, they're lessons. So the truth is, both the trials and the triumphs have shaped me. But the drought and the overflow taught me lessons. And when I began to see it was that way, I realized something. My business is not my identity. My profit is not my proof. My self-love cannot be conditional.
Hey, hope you're feeling the love in today's episode. We'll pick back up where we left off in a moment. First, we're excited to share that Tammy has a collection of self-love t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and journals for you to express how much you love yourself to the world. From comfy hoodies to motivational mugs, there's something for everyone. While you're listening to today's show, feel free to browse the full collection at IamTammyNicole.com. Thank you, and without further ado, let's get back into today's show.
So here's what I want you to take from this letter. I want you to expect ebbs and flows. Success isn't always up, up, up. Sometimes it pauses. Sometimes it pivots. And that's okay. I want you to check your self-love when things get hard. Ask yourself, am I still proud of me? Am I still gentle with me? Do I still believe in me? Third, I want you to separate your worth from your work. You are not your revenue. You are not your latest launch, and you are not your mistakes. You're so much more. Celebrate the lessons, not just the wins. Sometimes the loss is really a redirection, and sometimes the halt is really protection. I want you to start thinking about the connection that you've created between the company you're building and the identity that you see for yourself. A lot of it seems super, super intertwined, when in reality, they should definitely be separated, because who you are is not what you do. And what you do is not who you are. However, who you are stands alone. Why? Because it is based upon what you value. It's not based upon what you do. If I said to you, man, your character sucks, that's a part of who you are. But if I said that behavior you did was unfavorable, that has everything to do with what you do. But what you do is not who you are. It may be what you think of, but it's not who you are. And knowing that it's not who you are is super, super important. So, dear listeners, if you're walking around your entrepreneurial path, and I want you to remember this. You will always have seasons where you feel unstoppable. And you will have seasons where you feel like you're crawling through the mud. But both are sacred. Both are necessary. Do not abandon yourself in the valley, though. Do not withhold love from yourself with the checks slow down. Do not lose yourself in the process. The same way you cheer for yourself in triumph, you must hold yourself in tenderness during the trials. Because the real triumph, it isn't just in the business. It is in the fact that you didn't give up on you. So being able to hold yourself through it all, that's the real win. That's the real goal. So as you are out here trying to start businesses left and right, when you're out here trying to find your voice and find where you fit in, because in this day and age, everybody is trying to be their own boss. Ever since the pandemic, working for other people has seemed to be not the goal. Why? Because people want to control their own destiny. They want to be able to decide when and where they do their business. They want to be able to decide how they do business. And so doing or participating in entrepreneurship has been and has become the answer for most. But a lot of times when we do our own thing, we don't realize how connected we are to that thing based upon how we see ourselves. So take a moment right now, breathe. Think about where you are in your own journey. Are you in the glow of triumph or in the grit of trial? Whether you are speaking life over yourself or whispering it, if you have to, I want you to say, I am capable. I am worthy. I am still becoming. And if this letter spoke to you, I want you to carry it into your week. I want you to journal about it. I want you to talk to yourself kindly and remember, you're not alone. I'm walking this path too. Be able to speak to yourself. You know, there's an acronym of self-love that I want you to listen to and remember, because when you are able to speak, or not even just speak, but when you're able to provide yourself a level of self-love, it is the ability to kind of close out the outside noise. So for you, I want you to do this thing. I want you to speak life over yourself daily. E, establish boundaries without guilt. L, let go of what doesn't serve you. F, feed your mind, body, and spirit intentionally. L, listen to your inner voice, not just the noise around you. We do want that inner voice to be more positive than negative. O, own your story without shame. No matter what you go through, highs, lows, or indifferent, own it. It is a part of your story. V, value your time, energy, and peace. Value it to the core. Be intentional with your time, energy, and peace. And E, embrace the woman or man that you are becoming. Doing these things allows for you to love yourself fully and intentionally. And you know that in entrepreneurship, you must stay guarded and armed up to handle the things that come your way, the good and the bad. When you're going into those meetings and you're having conversations with people who you probably are begging for money because you need this deal to go through, you want to go in with confidence and reassurance that you are who you are, period, regardless of the decisions that come from the meeting. And I think a lot of times we forget about who we are when we are embarking upon entrepreneurships, and we so focused on the business that we lose ourselves in the process. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to embrace it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So as you are continuing on your entrepreneurial journey, take the time to stay connected to self, stay connected to the goals, stay connected to the reasons, stay connected to your why. And I hope your why resides within you and not just about money, not just about reaching a pinnacle point in life that says, I've made it. That you don't lose yourself in the process. Remember, I want you to love yourself so much that love from others is a bonus. If you haven't got my book yet, it recently released last month, and the book is called The Self-Love Blueprint for Moms. It is a guide to breaking the cycle of generational trauma. It can be purchased off of Amazon. You want to get it. It's a guide, which means it simply is allowing you to work through the things that you struggle with, work through basically your self-love issues, work through motherhood, work through creating happy experiences for your children, and bridging the gap between your self-love and the self-love for your children. I promise you, it's a book you're going to be excited to have. Again, thanks for listening. Send me an email. If you're looking for coaching, I'm here to do that as well. We do have the Reclaim Your Power coaching program that uses the SHE method, and I am super excited with that. Go to IamTammyNicole.com and you'll be able to actually connect with me, get yourself a free consult, etc. You can do it. I'm super excited for you. Congratulations if you're just starting your entrepreneurial journey. Keep going if you've been in business for a long time. Business is not for the weak. It is for the strong, but be strong within you, and the rest will follow. Again, have a good one. See y'all next week.
That's a wrap on another episode of Loving Me Before I Love You. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a second to show your support by subscribing and leaving a positive rating and review on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Stay connected with Tammy. Make sure you're following her on Instagram and TikTok at Coach Tammy Nicole. If you like to work with Tammy or have any questions you'd like her to answer, please head over to www.IamTammyNicole.com. Until next time, always remember to love yourself so much that the love from others is a bonus.